The New York Times managed to write one of the dumbest paragraphs ever. But let's back up just a bit. RFK and his merry health bandits have long complained about companies using ingredients like food dyes that are known to cause cancer in American foods, but simultaneously selling healthier versions in different countries.
American food companies are selling the same exact products overseas without these chemicals, but choose to continue serving us the most toxic version here. It's un-American.
Froot Loops has been cited as a prime example.
With artificial food dyes, they have shown all over the world that they can use colorants that come from fruit.
This is the Canadian version.
This is the brightness of the Canadian version, just for visibility. And this is the brightness of artificial food dyes. So, of course, Kellogg and other food companies will argue children prefer this over this, just as they would prefer cocaine over sugar. That doesn't make it okay.
But I think...
Recently, people protested at Kellogg's over the use of these dyes.
About 1,000 people protested outside the Michigan headquarters of Kellogg, demanding the company remove artificial dyes from cereals in the U.S.
So what did the New York Times write about this? Mr. Kennedy has singled out Froot Loops as an example of a product with too many artificial ingredients, questioning why the Canadian version has fewer than the U.S. version. But he was wrong. The ingredient list is roughly the same. Although, Canada's has natural colorings made from blueberries and carrots, while the U.S. product contains red dye 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, as well as butylated hydroxytoluene, this is ridiculous, or BHT, a lab-made chemical that is used for freshness, according to the ingredient label. So you would say that the ingredient list is not roughly the same, right? The article goes on. The U.S. food system under the FDA operates very differently than the food system in Europe, where chemicals tend to be subject to safety review before they enter the food supply. In the United States, new ingredients regularly debut in food with no notice to the FDA or the public. Boy, that seems like a problem? Is the New York Times trying to dunk on themselves here? What in the hell are you guys talking about? But of course, this issue doesn't just exist with cereal.
This is McDonald's French fries. In the US, there's 11 ingredients. In the UK, there's 3, and salt is optional. An ingredient called dimethylpolysiloxane is an ingredient preserved with formaldehyde, a neurotoxin, in the US version. This is used as a foaming agent, so they don't have to replace the oil that often, making McDonald's more money here in the United States. But they don't do that across the pond. This is Skittles. Notice the long list of ingredient differences. 10 artificial dyes in the US version and titanium dioxide. This ingredient is banned in Europe because it can cause DNA damage. Doritos. The US version has 3 different artificial dyes and MSG. The UK version does not. General Mills is definitely playing some tricks on us. They launched a new version of Trix just recently in Australia. It has no dyes. They even advertise that, when the US version still does.